Thank you, Tim. And our in-depth coverage of the attacks in France continues now. WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi joining me live in studio. And Ted, you've been in touch with a Rhode Islander who's actually in Paris right now, correct?
Yes, Matt McDermott, a Warwick native who actually works in politics. I know him through that. He and I have been texting. He's in Paris. I reached out to him right away because he's vacationing there. He's about 15 to 20 minutes away from a lot of the attacks we're hearing about, but he told me, he said at first, I'm at dinner nearby, but all is calm. He said the metro was shut down, but then he said the police had flown by, but the rest of the city is quiet. And I reached out to him a little while ago again, and he said nothing in particular to share other than the police caravans. Most of central Paris is closed up, but quiet. He's also been cautioning on Twitter, Matt, that some of the reports we're seeing about other attacks in other parts of Paris may not be true. He's seen attacks in the area where he is, but he's not seeing evidence of that, though there's a huge police presence and it's very quiet. So obviously we're going to keep in touch with him. He is safe right now, and to hear more about what it looks like on the ground.
Yes, of course, we hope he stays safe. We don't want to speculate because, as you were just saying, there's so many reports coming out at this hour. But kind of give us a broader sense of what's been happening in France in recent years.
Well, we've seen eyewitness reports in the last hour or so saying there were shouts of Allahu Akbar and cries related to Syria, which is, of course, going to raise the prospect that this is some sort of jihadist terrorist attack like we've seen recently. France has been struggling in recent years to integrate its growing Muslim population. There's a long history of church-state separation there, and they haven't necessarily figured out the right way to do that. We've also seen fighters leaving France to fight on behalf of ISIS and other groups in Syria and in the Middle East, and then coming back to Paris. And they've known about these problems, of course, because we saw last January the terrible Charlie Hebdo attacks, which has had the country on edge for many months now. But to see this tonight, I mean, just to give people a sense of the history here, we're seeing some of the French reporters saying tonight's curfew in Paris is the first since 1944, which was when the Nazis were still occupying Paris in the year they were liberated from the Americans. So this is a pretty extraordinary and terrible event tonight in Paris that'll have repercussions for a long time to come.
All right, WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi, thank you so much. We want to take another live look at Paris, France now, where a series of what appear to be coordinated attacks have hit that city, and we will continue tracking this breaking story all evening.
And as we learn more about what's happening in France, we'll let you know in this newscast and on WPRI.com and later tonight on Eyewitness News at 10 and 11.